Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Dana, aka Blondie Knots here on YouTube, and if you're not new here, welcome back my friend. So happy September. We are finally into the Burr months. We are in my opinion, the best time of the year. And for me, fall means three things: pumpkin spice, cooler temperatures, and twilight. So I have curated quite a fun little list of fall patterns for you today. I love doing pattern roundups. It's a great time for us to assess some cozy projects for the next couple of months as the temperature starts to drop, and we can get into all the things we love making, like sweaters, cardigans, all the things. So on today's list, I have a couple Amigurumi items for us, just a few vests, I believe, mostly cardigans and sweaters, and then we're going to end off with a couple hats. So hopefully you'll find something of interest in this video. And if you want even more fall patterns after this video, I will link my fall video from last year where I had a lot of home decor stuff in there as well. So if you're kind of looking for that, head over to that one. But without further ado, let's just jump right into today's pattern roundup. I did try to pick some patterns that I haven't seen quite as much or as often, so maybe you can see something you haven't seen before and get you in the mood for all the cozy fall projects. As always, for pattern roundups, I do have my phone out. I will be going based on my Pinterest board, which I will also have linked below if you want to follow me over on Pinterest. I have this board, of course, for fall, and then I do curate the boards per season as well as add to them through the season, and I do keep my boards up from years ago, so if you want to scroll through last year's board, it's on there for you too. So you can follow me over on Pinterest. I'm always pinning new ideas for you there if you are constantly in the need for some good inspo. And last little mention before we do get into today's video, I wanted to mention what I'm wearing right now. So this is actually called the Nora jumper, and I pattern tested this, oh gosh, I think 2 years ago now, and it is by M's Wardrobe. I will also link it down below along with all the other patterns. All the patterns are going to be in a Canva link in the description, so if you click that link, you'll get redirected to Canva, and they will have them in pictures in the order in which we talk about them today, so you can just click over, find the pattern. It's super easy. So without further ado, let's just jump right into what we have going on today. We are going to start off with our amigurumis and then just get them out of the way so we can talk about all of our other wearable pieces. First and foremost, I do have this cute little set of acorns. This is called the Fall Acorn Buddies crochet pattern. I thought these were so darling. I really also thought this would be a unique thing to make if you do a lot of markets or you sell plushies online. I think this is something you could work up pretty fast, and also making a lot of different color combinations, which would keep it really fun for you if that's something you're interested in. This would also make really cute home decor if you're more of like a decorate for fall rather than decorate for Halloween type of person. I gear more that way usually, so I thought these were super cute, and I wanted to give them just a little moment. I think they'd also work up very fast. I love the little faces on them. You could give them a lot of character that way, and even just in their tops and with the stems, I think you could customize them quite a bit and really just have a lot of fun with this pattern. So that is our very first pattern of today, and our other amigurumi one is these adorable little snail plushies. This is the Crochet Autumn and Fall snail plushie set. These are so stinking cute. I love the fact that there's a mushroom, an acorn, a pumpkin, and a pumpkin pie. I feel like if I was to think of 4 fall emojis, these would be the 4 that I would think of. And so I think you just cover all the bases as far as fall goes. And they are made into these cute little snail forms. This would also be something really adorable to make for around the home. Again, market season, or to give to some of your friends. I think this would be a super cute little silly whimsy gift. So I did want to, of course, put those in the mix, and I actually might even give one of these a try. Who knows? I just thought they were so funny and whimsical, and so of course they made it onto the list. So onto our wearable pieces, we will start off with vests. I have only 2 vests for you, and they are both somehow mushroom themed, which is very interesting. The first vest I have here is called the Amita sweater. It is more of like a tapestry based type of vest. So you just have your classic, mushroom type colors, very fall toned, and I really like just the repeat of the mushroom. I find personally for me that when I'm doing a larger piece, like a sweater or even a vest, when I have something like this where I constantly have to be thinking about what's coming next, I tend to work through the project a lot faster than, let's just say, a basic double crochet stitch. I get really bored with that. So something like this, having to map out your mushrooms every couple of stitches, I think would really be fun. I also love playing like little games with myself while I'm working. Like, for instance, if I got through 2 sets of mushrooms, I'd be like, okay, 2 more sets of mushrooms and I'm done with this project. Like, that is really a good way for me to work and stay super motivated through projects. You could also take this and go crazy as far as color combinations go. I think you could do a lot of different earthy tones. tones. I would also love to like add beads for where the little mushroom spots are. That would be something really fun. I love adding like 3D elements in some places. So this is the first little pattern I wanted to talk about. And then the other one I wanted to talk about, this one, guys, if you're gonna make this might be the only pattern you get to make all fall, but I think it could be really worth it. This is like the definition of cottage core, I feel like. And honestly, I did have to look into this one to make sure it was real because I have been duped by AI. I'm not gonna lie, quite a few times in these pattern roundups, and you guys always let me know like, Dana, that was AI. And then I'm like, oh yeah, that makes way more sense. But this one right here, I was like, is this real crochet or is this like a machine knit project? And no, it is actually a crochet pattern that you can look at. So I did want to put it on here. It looks very, very tedious, and it looks like you're using a very tiny hook, very fine yarn, but it is stunning. Like, this is one of those pieces that I think you would have forever and get a lot of wear out of. This is a cottage core dream. This is like fairy core. All of the fall feels, I feel like, fit into this, and this with like a white turtleneck underneath would be next level, seriously. So had to put that one in there because this is what actually started my pattern roundup for this year. I saw this and I was like, immediately, yes, first one on the list. But I think this is one of the most stunning patterns I did pin for today's video. So if this is something you're interested in, go check it out. And that is actually all we have for vests, just those two stunning mushroom vests. I didn't even mean for them both to be mushroom, but hey, that is so on brand for fall, isn't it? Next thing I have for us is going to be some cardigans. So the first cardigan I have pinned, and there is a version of like a sweater of this, and I just wanted to really draw attention to this pattern because this is something I've been seeing a lot of the girlies making on Instagram, on TikTok, on the reels lately, and it is this amazing color blocking. I'm not even exactly sure what this is called, but where the color changes in like vertical stripes, and it almost looks like, you know, when your old TV used to go out and you get like that like staticky thing, that's really what this is reminiscent of to me personally. And I love how this person put like the bows on this one. I thought that was very cute. And honestly, this one kind of rides into like a winter Christmas project, but I did love like the coloring on this one. This one particularly is called the Nature Sweater Cardigan, and I love how they use the cooler tones with the blues and the greens, and paired with these buttons on here, I just feel like that really set it over the edge. This is a super dreamy, cozy looking cardigan, and I would love to rock one of these this season. I did also like when people just go all out and they use all the colors. So this would be a great scrap yarn project, incorporating a lot of those fall colors that you really like to see. So of course I did want to show that. That was kind of just like a genre and a style I really, really liked. And then some other cardigans I found that I thought were really cute is this one is called the Crochet Oversized Cardigan. Who doesn't want to wear this? You know what I mean? I feel like this one could be a little time consuming as well because it is so oversized. It's almost like a robe, if you will. But imagine just throwing this over absolutely everything and anything. I love a good staple piece, especially nowadays. I'm really trying to work in a little bit more of the neutral tone pieces that I feel like I'd grab for more, because while I love this and this is fun and great, some days I'm not in the mood to like wear something like this out and then just feel like I'm like, hey, it's me, you know? So sometimes it's good to go with a basic and neutral, and I really, really like this. I feel like you could dress this up, dress this down. You could really even have some fun in making this. You could put like a fur collar around it, whatever you want to do. I think this would be a great pattern to do that on. You could add like a little belt to it so you could tie it, some buttons, whatever you want. I did just find this to be such a cozy project, and obviously that's always what I'm looking for when it comes to my fall makes. Speaking of cozy, I did also find this longer like trench coat style type of cardigan. I don't believe it actually button closes. I can't really see from the picture here, but this is a free cardigan pattern. So if you are wanting to dip your toe into some longer crochet projects, this would be a great one to try. I love the color combination that this particular artist used. I felt like it was spot on. Really, again, super cozy. I mean, this picture just in general is stunning. I love everything about it. So I would love to make this. And again, throwing this on with anything would just elevate your outfit entirely and keep you nice and warm, which is always a plus. So the rest of the cardigans I have saved here are more of just like your regular full length cardigan, nothing too long or too short. This one right here is called the Eternal Seasons cardigan. I really liked all of the little holes in this one. I like the detailing. I found this to be super luxurious looking, very, again, easy to throw on. This is by Jewel Makes. I believe that's how you pronounce this artist's name, and I have purchased 2 patterns from her now. I'm actually working on her island cardigan right now, but this is such a good designer. Her patterns are so detailed and so thorough. Every time I purchase her work, I can really tell she puts a lot of work and effort into making her patterns really easy to read and digestible section by section, because I know it can get overwhelming, especially if you're newer into making some wearables. Sometimes it's just like hard to look at all this at once. So she breaks it down so well step by step, and I just love all of her designs. She definitely has a certain style to her, and I just constantly find myself gravitating towards her work, and I think she's a wonderful, fantastic artist. So of course, one of her patterns made the list. I will put the island cardigan on there too, because if you make this in a deeper toned, or I mean, you can make it in a lighter tone too, who am I to say, but in a deeper tone, I feel like it really, really can kind of encapsulate that fall vibe you're looking for. I'm making mine in a dark blue right now, which I saw another YouTube creator make, and she actually inspired me to make this cardigan. So I just love it in a deeper tone. I feel like it's going to be a great staple in my wardrobe for the upcoming chilly months. And then this one I found so interesting. I've never seen a pattern like this before. This is called the Fishkin Coat crochet pattern, and this is like a shacket almost, if you will, which I don't often see. It does look heavy to me. I will just come out and say that right away, because it looks like it's a very thick stitch. I'm not actually sure which stitch you might be using, but I'm seeing a lot of texture in this piece. It looked kind of like a waffle stitch at first. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, I'm actually seeing that it's saying the mesh stitch, but it's really hard to tell from the photos if that is what is happening here. I don't know. So don't take my word for it. Either way, I love a shacket in general for fall. Again, another super easy thing to just throw on and head out the door. I also do love that this pattern is very much geared towards like a unisex vibe. So you could make this for your significant other. You could make this for you. You guys could both wear it. We love something that everyone's getting use out of. So this is a really fun one I wanted to include. I really loved the pockets on this. That's kind of what really drew me to this pattern. And I loved the ribbed fold over collar. I thought that was a really great detail to it as well. And I think this looks like something you would find in a store, and I'm always looking for crochet projects that give that look to them. So on to our last 2 patterns of our cardigan section. I do have this gorgeous cardigan called the Pacific Coat. Again, it's got the nice pockets. These are lower ones, so it's like a slouchy little pocket vibe. I love the button band on this. I just really love buttons right now. If you guys are on my channel often, you know I've been talking about buttons quite a bit, and for some reason they're like sparking a lot of inspiration for me lately. So I do love that this is another cute button cardigan. I like where the designer placed the stripes. I feel like it gives just a little bit of detailing, so it's interesting, but still can be considered more of like a neutral everyday wear. So I love that. And again, it just looks super cozy and easy to throw on with everything, which is always a plus plus in our book. This last one I have for you though, this is a fun one. So all my whimsy friends, listen up, because this one's for you. This is the Blueberry Pie cardigan pattern. And yes, it is. I mean, who doesn't want this? This looks like the cutest little pattern ever. The fact that you have these little blueberry pies as pockets is such an amazing design choice. I think that is so unique. They have some cute little flowers on the sleeves that I didn't even see till now. We've got some gingham going on in the middle. We have color blocking. We have everything. This is just like a fun project explosion, and I love that too. Like, don't get me wrong, I say I love my neutrals and my basics, and then I end up making stuff like this more often than not. So this would totally be on my list, I think. I just genuinely love everything about this design. So had to, of course, put that one on here. And now let's talk about some sweaters, but I want to specifically start off with sweaters that are more tapestry based, kind of like the little mushroom vest I was showing you. So the first one I found that I thought was super fun and cute was this fishy sweater. This is such a silly little sweater. I love a little fish sweater. I in fact have a fish sweater that I want to knit saved in my knitting folder. So I found this cute little crochet one, and I feel like I had to make it on the list. I also love it with this blue they paired it with. I'd like to see this too with like a heathered color or a tweed color, specifically like a dark green would be so stunning with this fish, especially with the orange, and just a goofy little make I had to put on this list. Speaking of other goofy little makes, I found this really adorable snail. This is called the Ernest sweater, and this is just a big goofy snail on the back, and then on the front, which was my favorite part, are these three little mini snails that kind of go across your torso area. I love the striping on the sleeves with these muted fall colors. I just think the color palette here is such a hit. I love it. It's also very reminiscent to me of like the Hungry Caterpillar that's been kind of blowing up the crochet community lately. I love everything Hungry Caterpillar related, don't get me wrong, but this is a really fun spin on it if you want to be maybe a little bit different and you don't want to go for Hungry Caterpillar, or you prefer a snail to a caterpillar. Here's a great option for you. So of course we have to throw that one in there. And our next crochet tapestry sweater is by Made in the Moment. Aspen made this pattern a couple years ago, and it has made it on my list every single year. I've never gotten around to making it, but it is this really beautiful mallard sweater. It's in a navy blue, which I am very, very into this year for whatever reason. I love the blue with the brown and the pop of green on the head. I think Aspen is another amazing pattern designer, has a lot of really unique, cool tapestry sweater patterns. They have like a pigeon, and they have, I know, some dinosaur stuff and whatnot. So definitely another creator worth checking out. If you click this link, I'm sure you can look at a bunch of the other ones they have, but I specifically like the mallard. I also like how big this is, so it would make the project again go by a little bit faster for me personally. So I wanted to show that. And I know I've seen a lot of these too in like vest forms and stuff, so if you didn't want to do the whole shebang with the sleeves and stuff, you could just cut it off and make it a really cute, fun vest. So that is of course one we have to talk about. And on the theme of ducks and mallards, this next one I'm going to talk to you about is not technically tapestry because it's more color blocking, but it kind of fits in this category for me, I think. And it is this really cute duck sleeve sweater. So this is just like your basic brown sweater, so very easy to wear with these really fun sleeves that look like the duck. So it would be pretty hilarious to just have like two arms that looks like there's ducks on either end of them, and I think that's a great, unique, fun pattern design choice and very creative for whoever made this design. So a huge thumbs up there. I've also not seen this before, so that is why it also made it onto the list. And then of course our last crochet tapestry sweater is this Twilight sweater. Again, one, somehow I've never seen this, but who cannot put this on the list? I mean, Twilight is really one of the most iconic movies for fall. I don't even think it's considered like a fall movie, but somehow every time this time of year comes around, in my head automatically is just like, and I have to watch the movies immediately. They're so bad, they're good. We all know how it is. If you grew up with these movies, you get it. But I had to put this on the list because I think this is cute. Like, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even like the biggest Twilight fan in the world, but I would wear this. I'm not gonna lie to you. And oh, I lied. I do actually have one more of our tapestry style sweaters. This last one is called the Apple Cider Jumper. I think I saved this for its own little area because I just like all things Apple in general this season. They have definitely been speaking to me this year, so I did save quite a few different Apple things, but this is the one I definitely could find a pattern for and just thought was so cute. Again, it gives me a little bit of Hungry Caterpillar vibes. It also gives me like a little bit of your grandma's cozy kitchen vibe in the best way possible. I love how they took the buttons and they put them on the sleeve here. I also do love that in between the tapestry part, you do end up doing some like really spaced out double crochets, it looks like, and then you do a row of maybe like single crochet or something, just to give the jumper a little bit more movement. Sometimes with crochet tapestry projects, that is probably the biggest thing you have to get over if you've not made one before, is that you do not get a lot of movement because the fabric becomes so thick from all your different yarn strands. So this is a great way to still have something you could wear if it's not too chilly out and still have a lot of movement in, but have an adorable design through the center of it that would go like over your chest area. It's giving like all the picnic vibes into one, and I really, really am so fond of that this season. As I mentioned, the Apple theme is strong. These are some of the other ideas I saw. I didn't find a lot of patterns for Apple stuff, but any patterns I can find for Apple related crochet projects, I will link them in the pattern guide for you. So fear not, I will do my best. So we are going to get into our other little category of sweaters now. Our first one being this cutie little granny square sweater. I think I actually pinned this last year too. I'm not gonna lie, looking at it looks super, super familiar to me, but I love a turtleneck, especially like a fold over collar like this. This looks so cute. These three colors are probably my favorite autumn related colors. I love a forest green, a cream, and a burnt orange. And then you put them all together and it just makes the coziest combination. So I could not mention this one. It also looks like it's a very cozy oversize. The holes of the granny squares would help you get a little bit of airflow through there. So this would be a really fun one to put on your list if you're looking for something cozy but still a little bit breathable. So if you're not into granny squares and you don't like seaming them all together, which totally understand because sometimes I'm not in the mood for that either. This is a really beautiful, just granny stitched sweater. Has that openness that you might be needing for the fall months, but I love the color striping of this. They also nailed it with the color combo here. So of course had to share that one with you. And then this one is going to be another heavily sewn together one, but this one is one I couldn't not mention either. This is called the Charlie pullover. Again, might have made it from my last year's list. Not gonna lie, because this is one I have definitely wanted to make since I first started crocheting and just have never gotten around to it because I'm a little bit intimidated by making, like, let's say 50, 60 single crochet squares and then sewing them together. So I think this project is definitely for someone who is maybe not trying to make so many projects this season and you want a couple staples. This one might be for you, my friend. For me personally, I don't know that I would have the time this season to get to it, but I love the stripes. I love how the stripes actually change on some of the squares too. And then just in general, you can tell where the single crochet rows are. And some of the squares are positioned vertically and some are positioned horizontally. So you're getting a lot of texture in this sweater as far as that goes, as well as a lot of color changing. And it just makes for a very interesting sweater, a very expensive looking sweater, and a very time consuming sweater. So not to steer you away from that one if you're interested, but just be prepared to put in quite a bit of work to complete that. But I know for sure it would be worth it in the end. I do have some fun like striped sweaters saved. I'm really into the striped stuff this year. This one is called the Unisex Autumn Stripe Crochet Sweater. And again, love the color combo. This is giving very 70s to me, but the style of sweater somehow is giving very 90s to me. So I don't know, a nice little mesh in between the two, but I love a vintage looking sweater as well. And this I think nails it. And I think too, you might even slip stitch those stripes onto here. I don't know. The designer did a really good job of making this a very unique looking sweater, and it does not look like your average crochet style sweater. This looks almost like knit to me. So I really like that too. And it's just a fun make, it looks like. So let's see what we have next here. I have the City Stroll sweater here, kind of giving the same type of vibe to the last sweater where you have those vertical stripings instead of horizontal, which I don't see quite a bit. This yarn combination, I'm not sure if this is all from the same skein or not, but this is incredible. So cozy looking, very fall, even dare I say like early winter color vibe, and I am super into it. This looks like a fun one to make and definitely could make it into the staple section of your wardrobe. So the next three, well, technically the next four patterns are going to be, again, larger project patterns, I would believe to be so. The first one being this one. This is the Moss Garden sweater, and this is incredibly stunning. Not one I have ever seen before. When I came across this, I was like, where has this been forever? And maybe it's a newer pattern, so I could be maybe just mistaken there, but this is so cool. I love the way this looks. I love the way the color changes through this. I also love the shade of green with the cream they chose. I really genuinely loved everything about it. Again, looks like a sweater you would buy in the store. I think, again, this might be a little bit of a labor of love, probably less than some of the others we've talked about, but so beautiful, stunning, and one that you would definitely get some good use out of for probably the rest of the burr months that we have, and even into like January and February, I'd bet. And to piggyback off of that one, I did find this one too, which kind of gave a similar vibe. Maybe it's just because of the color palette they chose, but this one is called the Off the Grid sweater, and I really loved this one. This is such a beautiful sweater. I would love to get around to making this, and the color combos of the pattern testers, they really nailed it on this one. It's funny because when you change up the color combo just a little bit, it almost can change the season of the piece. Like there are some purple ones in here that give me major spring vibes in the best way. So I would love to see some different color combos of this. For instance, there's also one tester who made this center panel like olive green and tan, and then made the sleeves tan with olive green as the striping color. And that is another way to really spice this pattern up and do something so cool with it. But all the testers did such a beautiful job. All the versions look incredible of this, and I was really just drawn to this one immediately. So I had to put that on the list for us. I also like that it's kind of like loosey-goosey at the bottom. Sometimes I don't always want like a tighter ribbing around my waist, or if it's cropped, you know, so this one's a little bit oversized, a little bit more effortless, and I love that from time to time as well. So the silhouette on this one was a big plus for me and something that really drew me in. And then lastly, I have this really stunning pattern, which I can imagine would take quite a bit of time. This is called the plaid crochet sweater. I didn't make. I attempted to make my husband a sweater a couple years ago, and not in a plaid look, but it had like braided effects and it had so much detailing. And for some reason, the way that that sweater looked, it was just from like a book. I don't know if I could find the pattern for it ever. And listen, I don't know what about it, but it's giving such a similar vibe to me. It could just be the texture of the sweater in general. Really gorgeous. This would be a fantastic piece to make and wear throughout the whole fall season and into winter. And it just looks like the ultimate cozy cabin curl up with a book type of piece to wear. So it had to get put on our cozy fall list, of course. The next one I'm going to show you is again one that I do know I put on my list last year. This is called the Autumn Vibes Oversized Crochet Jumper. So yeah, this is just made for fall in general. It's even called Autumn Vibes. So in the center, you do have these beautiful African flower granny squares, which I have never made an African flower square. I would love to. I just, for some reason, I've never got around to it. And then the outside is just a granny stitch. It does remind me of like a hexagon cardigan, but then it's just like you added a center stripe of amazing, beautiful, gorgeous African flowers, and it made for the perfect jumper. I also love the length on this one. Looks like it has some giant balloon sleeves on it. This designer really did that thing with this, and I am super impressed. All the tester ones are really fun on this too. And just changing the color combination on this changes the whole entire piece. And so I love that you can just do that all within one pattern. So this one was a fun one that I know for sure I did put on my list last year, and I have just been like drooling over it since the first time I saw it. So who knows? Maybe at some point I will get around to that. So interestingly enough, we only have 4 patterns left. These are all of our hat patterns, and they are all just the same style of hat, but different versions. And I wanted to talk about berets. I feel like berets are going to be my new obsession of the season, kind of how ponchos was my big obsession for spring and summer. I am so into berets right now. I think they're so cute, they're so fun, and they're slept on. If you've never crocheted a beret, please do yourself a favor and make one. One of my very first crochet projects, I'd like to say, was a beret, and I had so much fun making it. I think I lost it in our move across the country, but I really loved it. I remember when I learned how to crochet, I'm like, I want to make a raspberry beret just like the song. So I did do that, and I really loved it. It's such a fun little classy piece to throw on, and it just pairs well with so many outfits, and it's just so unique. I mean, you don't see a lot of berets out and about in the world, but they are so cute and fun. So some of the ones I did save are a little bit more silly and whimsy. Like I have this pumpkin one, which would be really cute to pull up to Thanksgiving in. I know that's quite a few months away, but you have time to make it now if you want to. And I also have 2 versions of this really fun apple looking beret, which would be really cute too. This would also be something fun to wear to like a farmer's market or something like that. But the one that really caught my eye and originally put me on the idea of a beret is this beautiful acorn beret. I'm obsessed with the stitching on this. I think I also just really like it in this olive green color they have. I found that to be stunning, and I just think this would be a really fun make. I think this might actually get put on my project list this season. I'm not sure, but if you just look up berets, I mean, you can find so many. Like even right here, I'm finding another one that's called the Crochet Acorn Cap Beret, and this one almost is like made in like a bobble stitch, and they put this really fun leaf detailing on it. So I'm gonna actually pin that one to the board too, just so you can check that one out as well. There's just so many different fun ways you can take a beret, so many color combinations. You can add some mohair to it to make it a fuzzy beret. I did that with a blue one at one point, and I really wish I could find them because they were so fun. So maybe if you're on my channel regularly, look for that in some upcoming vlogs here. We might get into some beret making. Who knows? But guys, that is actually all the patterns I have to share with you today. If you guys have any projects that are like your go-to fall projects, let me know in the comments. I'd love to get some ideas from you guys too. I'm going to be continuously updating this board through the fall months. So if you want to follow me again over on Pinterest, I'll be updating this and we'll get more on this list. And I'm also considering doing my own little Halloween pattern roundup, if that's something any of you guys would be interested in seeing. I have a lot of cute, I think specifically amigurumi patterns for Halloween that I really am drawn to, but I didn't want to share them in our fall video. So if you wanted a separate Halloween video, you let me know in the comments and I would love to put one of those together for you because I love sitting down and chatting with my friends about some patterns. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. If you are new here and you feel like sticking around, don't forget to subscribe. I post new videos every Monday, occasionally on Thursdays. They're always crochet, knit, craft related, and we are about to get into some really cozy, fun fall projects. So stay tuned because I have some fun videos coming up that I'd hate for you to miss out on. And please make sure you give this video a like before you leave here today, guys, and share this with your other crochet besties who maybe need some fun project ideas, specifically a beret, specifically an apple themed piece. Anyways, guys, until next time, thank you so much for letting me take up a little bit of your time here on the internet today. It was a pleasure as always, and I will be seeing you guys in my next one. Happy fall!